Warren Buffett uses 3 mental rules that most people have completely backwards. These aren't investment strategies. They're not stock-picking techniques. They're thinking patterns that created $100 billion in wealth. And here's what's crazy. While everyone focuses on what stocks Buffett buys, they completely ignore how he thinks. That's the real secret. I'm about to reveal the 3 mental rules that separate billionaire thinking from broke thinking. And I guarantee you're doing at least 2 of these backwards right now. By the end of this video, you'll understand why Buffett makes money while everyone else loses it. More importantly, you'll know exactly how to apply these thinking patterns to your own financial decisions. Stay till the end because I'll show you the simple exercise Buffett uses daily to program these mental rules into his brain. Warren Buffett didn't become the world's most successful investor by accident. While other billionaires made money through luck, timing, or inheritance, Buffett built his wealth through pure mental discipline. Here's what most people don't understand. Buffett's success isn't about finding the right stocks. It's about thinking in ways that most human brains resist. The average person's brain is wired for financial failure. We're programmed for short-term thinking, emotional decisions, and following the crowd. Buffett rewired his brain to do the opposite. These 3 mental rules took him from a middle-class kid in Nebraska to the richest investor in history. They work regardless of how much money you start with. I've been studying Buffett's thinking patterns for 5 years, applying these rules to my own financial decisions. The results speak for themselves. But more importantly, these mental shifts changed how I see every financial opportunity. The first mental rule that made Buffett a billionaire: always think backwards. While everyone else asks, how can I make money? Buffett asks, how can I avoid losing money? While everyone asks, what should I buy? Buffett asks, what should I definitely not buy? This is called inversion, and it's the most powerful mental tool billionaires use. Here's why this works. Our brains are terrible at predicting success, but excellent at identifying failure patterns. When you think backwards, you spot dangers that forward thinking misses. Most people lose money because they focus on potential gains and ignore potential losses. Buffett flips this. He focuses on potential losses and lets gains take care of themselves. Practical example. Before Buffett invests in any company, he doesn't ask, how much can I make? He asks, what could destroy this business? If he can't find ways the business could fail, then he considers it. How to apply this to your finances? Before making any financial decision, buying a house, choosing a career, starting a side business, ask, what are all the ways this could go wrong? When I started using inversion, I avoided 3 major financial mistakes that would have cost me over $30,000. I didn't make money by thinking backwards. I kept money by thinking backwards. This mental rule alone will save you more money than any investment strategy you'll ever learn. Mental rule number 2, think in decades while everyone else thinks in days. The average person makes financial decisions based on this year, this month, sometimes this week. Buffett makes decisions based on the next 20 years. This isn't just about long-term investing. This is about mental time horizons that create compound advantages. While everyone panics about market crashes, Buffett sees opportunities. While everyone chases this year's hot stock, Buffett buys businesses he wants to own forever. But here's the deeper principle. Billionaire thinking operates on billionaire timeframes. When you think in decades, daily market movements become irrelevant. When you think in decades, you stop making emotional money decisions. When you think in decades, you start seeing patterns that short-term thinkers miss completely. Practical application. Before any major financial decision, ask yourself, how will this impact my life in 20 years? That expensive car payment? In 20 years, the car is worthless, but the invested money could be worth $100,000. That side business you're afraid to start. In 20 years, not starting could cost you millions in missed opportunities. That education you're avoiding because of cost? In 20 years, the knowledge pays for itself 50 times over. I started applying 20-year thinking to every financial choice. Results: I stopped buying depreciating assets, started investing in appreciating assets, and began building skills that compound over decades. Time arbitrage is how average people become wealthy people. You're just playing a different game than everyone else. Mental rule number 3. Do the opposite of what your emotions tell you about money. This is the hardest rule because it goes against human nature, but it's also the most profitable. When markets crash and everyone feels panic, Buffett feels excitement. When markets boom and everyone feels greedy, Buffett feels cautious. But emotional inversion goes deeper than investing. It's about reversing every emotional money impulse you have. When you feel like spending, save. When you feel like playing it safe, take calculated risks. When you feel like following the crowd, go the opposite direction. Your emotions around money were programmed by broke people, marketed to by companies that want your money, and reinforced by a society that profits from your financial mistakes. Billionaires don't trust their money emotions. They've trained themselves to feel the opposite. Here's how Buffett developed this. Every time he felt a strong emotion about a financial decision, he would wait 24 hours and then do the opposite of his first instinct. Felt excited about a hot stock tip? Wait and research what could go wrong. Felt scared about market volatility? Wait and look for buying opportunities. Felt pressured to make a quick decision? Wait and take time to think clearly. Practical exercise I learned from studying Buffett. Before any purchase over $100, wait 24 hours and ask, am I buying this from emotion or logic? This simple rule saved me thousands in impulse purchases and helped me identify real opportunities when my emotions said, too risky. The wealthy feel fear when others feel greed, and feel greed when others feel fear. That's not natural, it's trained. So how do you actually program these mental rules into your daily thinking? Buffett has a simple daily practice that builds these thinking patterns automatically. Every morning, he spends 30 minutes reading and asks himself 3 questions. Question 1. What assumptions am I making that could be wrong? This builds inversion thinking. Question 2. How will this matter in 20 years? This builds long-term thinking. Question 3. What is my emotional reaction telling me, and what's the opposite perspective? This builds emotional inversion. Start with just 10 minutes daily. Read financial news, but instead of accepting information, question everything through these 3 mental filters. Within 30 days, you'll notice your financial decision-making completely changes. You'll start seeing opportunities others miss and avoiding traps others fall into. The goal isn't to become Warren Buffett. The goal is to think like Warren Buffett in your own financial situation. Here's what happened when I applied these 3 mental rules consistently. I avoided buying a house in 2019 when everyone said, buy now or be priced out forever. Used inversion thinking, asked what could go wrong. Saved $50,000 when prices dropped. I started a side business in 2020 when everyone felt scared about the economy. Used 20-year thinking, saw the opportunity. That business generated $30,000 last year. I bought stocks during the March 2020 crash when everyone was panicking. Used emotional inversion, felt excited when others felt terrified. Portfolio gained 40% that year. These aren't luck. These are the predictable results of billionaire thinking patterns. The mental rules work regardless of your income level, education, or background. They're thinking tools, not money tools. Here's my challenge. Apply 1 mental rule this week to a financial decision you're facing. Let me know in the comments which rule you're using and what situation you're applying it to. I read every comment and I'll give you feedback. Also, which of these 3 mental rules do you think is hardest to implement? Inversion thinking, time arbitrage, or emotional inversion? And here's a controversial question. Do you think most people stay broke because they can't think like billionaires, or because they refuse to think like billionaires? Next week, I'm revealing how Jim Rohn's philosophy connects to Buffett's mental rules. It's the missing piece that turns billionaire thinking into billionaire results. Subscribe if you want to rewire your brain for wealth instead of just learning investment tips. Your mind is your most valuable asset. Start training it like billionaires do.